Corporate America,
All right, it's go time. Buckle up, boys. So today we're going to be talking about, people are just over corporate America, okay? And we got this whole strike going on with the ports, goods coming in, and, if we want to eat food and everything, and the U.S. outsources all that. So, if that's not happening, then we're all just right up the butt, okay? So we're going to kind of start with that, and then we're going to wind it down and see kind of what people are doing about it. A lot of talk, but what are they doing about it? I'm going to let her start off, then we'll go into the port. And we're going to have fun, okay?
Performers aren't rewarded with promotions and pay increases. They are punished with more work, higher expectations, and having to cover for the inadequacies of their colleagues.
Strike that.
Okay. That's going to be kind of a baseline for this entire video. Now let's get to the good stuff.
That could disrupt, some say even cripple, nearly every part of our economy. At least 25,000 dock workers in 14 ports from Texas all the way to Massachusetts could walk off the job tonight. Negotiations between their union and the shipping industry have been stalled since back in June. A strike could affect nearly half of America's ports, leading to shortages of everyday items like pharmaceuticals, produce, fresh meat, cars, you name it, driving up prices across the board. JP Morgan Chase says that a dock strike could cost the American economy about $5 billion every day.
Not cool. And this is bigger than just what he said. This is I think it's all the ports. I'm pretty sure. I got an inside scoop from my guy, Big Ward. He actually works at the port in the Alabama region, okay? And he said this has been going on since June, all right? So basically it's the longshoremen union, all right? And then when I lived in Long Beach in California, I knew a lot of these longshoremen who were in the union. And, 10 years ago when I lived there, they were making some quiche, dude. I mean, they were, they're making great money. But the problem is their money hasn't gone up. And they're doing some hardcore shit. But Insider Scoop says the same exact thing. Lose about $5 billion. But he said it's been going on a lot longer. This cat, Big Ward, he's been talking about this for a minute. But let's see exactly why. Why are that people fighting back, okay? You probably already guessed it.
We know that we're in a fight. If they want to fight, then a war is what they're going to get. I've been a longshoreman for over 23 years. And one thing I do know...
Oh, it's a longshoreman, not a logshoreman. Corporate America.
know to be true. Gas has went up. The cost of living has constantly went up. And throughout these 23 years that I've been on the waterfront, we've only asked for $2, $3, or maybe $5 over the course of the contract. We've done our part. And we're asking, hey, you do your part. Because during the pandemic, we never stopped working. They've been working on. So that's where we're at with it. And we just want to be respected for it. And I think it's high time that we demand that. And we're long overdue. Automation is serious. Yeah. Because when you bring new automation in to take away from our jobs, you don't make means for that person to have a job. They're pushed over to the side and they can't do their job that they've been accustomed to doing. What we're asking is allow our people to continue to work in this industry without going to get an extra job to make ends meet. Allow us to take care of our families like we've been doing with the wages that we currently have in place. Continue that trend.
So we can have.
Welcome to the club, brother. And you know what's crazy is they're worried about kind of automation, which I think that's what they're mostly worried about. Not to mention they're not paying them enough. Imagine you do like a serious job where you're like working on these big containers, and that's just not enough. What a joke. All right, but this is something that corporate America can't just ship off and have like some dude named Abib, answering phone calls. This is like you kind of gotta pay them in America, at least for now. Imagine if robots just take over. I don't like it. Anyways, let's see what this lady's got to say about it.
Oh. And because the economy is weakening, and this is just going to add to that. And I would expect another spike in inflation, and I would expect an economy that gets impacted in terms of going to the stores and not finding what you need.
All right. So I was curious to see how much we import, right, into the States, because, we don't do anything here anymore, apparently. Because the United States imports a small percentage of its food supply, but a large percentage of its seafood. It only imports about 15% of the food supply. I mean, if it's only 15%, then why are they... You get what I'm saying? Like, why would it be such a big deal, right? Or is this kind of skewed? Or can you not just believe anything on the internet? Am I even real? You'll never know. No, but seriously, something to think about. Now, let's see, like, goods and stuff. Even this, it says just for goods, not food. Okay, who needs food? I don't. I could eat this leather jacket. All right, these people go, in 2022, the United States imported 3.2 trillion goods from around the world, which was only 15% of the country's gross domestic product. I'm having a hard time believing that. I mean, everything says made in China on it.
Trust me.
Like, seriously, I wouldn't be surprised if my parents went to China, had sex, made me there, and then shipped me back. Just saying. Call me crazy. All right, anyways, let's switch gears a little bit. Take a U-turn here. Talk about, like, small businesses, because that's what a lot of people are doing. They're leaving corporate America, and they're trying their own thing, right? Anyways, let's let Patrick Bet David from downtown take the wheel on this one.
Trust me, the big companies love it when they raise minimum. Amazon loves it. Walmart loves it when you raise minimum wage. Keep saying raise minimum wage. They don't have a problem going from $13 to $15 to $20. They could care less if you keep doing that. Because they're going to raise their margins by 20% or whatever it is and make the money back on the back end. They're not dumb. And you're still going to buy it. We're still going to buy it. We don't have a choice.
Classic.
But it's going to put that guy across the street out of business. So the more small businesses go out of business and fewer small businesses we have, the more these big companies are controlling us. It's the small business owner that doesn't want to raise the minimum wage. But the Walmarts, the Amazons, the bigger guys are like, oh, yeah. Well, you know what, Bernie Sanders? You make a lot of sense. We're going to do the noble thing. And moving forward, Amazon, we're going to put our minimum wage at $15. That guy's working at Joey's liquor store or Joey's market across the street that's been there for 72 years, passed down in 3 generations. He goes to Joey and says, hey, listen, bro, I know you're Joey the third. I got to go work at Amazon. They're offering $15 an hour because you only offer me $12.20. Now that guy's going to say, okay, I'll go to $15 as well. Now he has to raise the prices. Now families go to Amazon. So capitalism, if we eliminate a lot of these small business owners, man, it's a very problematic issue. They get to raise the prices whatever they want to raise it to.
I don't like that. You know, that kind of reminds me of, what's that board game called? Monopoly. That's a great game if you're winning. Everyone else is just losing, just the one guy winning. That's kind of like what's going on. And fun fact, Bernie Sanders and Colonel Sanders are actually kissing cousins. That's the secret recipe. Just kidding. I just made that up. I'm just joking. Don't take that. Anyways, this is important, though. Small businesses are a vital part of the American economy. Okay? Small businesses are responsible for 2/3 of new jobs in the United States. Yet, it is becoming harder and harder to start your own business. Yay. All hail Google. Just something to think about, okay? And I encourage people to start their own business, but it's not looking good. And speaking of small businesses, I don't think if you've ever heard of them. It's a small coffee shop, family-owned little spot. You might have heard of them, Starbucks. Today's video is not sponsored by them. Today's video is actually sponsored by Makebs Bagel and Deli. It's my local spot that I go to on a daily basis. Family-run business, okay? They got one in West Palm and one in Royal Palm Beach. You could also check out their app where they got the awesome breakfast sandwiches. Everything's made in-house. I go to the one in West Palm right off of Okeechobee Military, right across the street from the Taco Bell. Just ignore all the other fast food places and support local. You could use their app. You could just go on there, ding, order your stuff, and just pick it up. You could even call in your orders if you want, if you don't want to wait in line. My favorite is the bacon, egg, and cheese on the jalapeno cheddar bagel or the everything bagel. Or the croissants are awesome too. Anyways, if you go in there, mention my name, just say Jack sent me, and they'll give you a free soft drink or a basic coffee. Okay, they do have lattes and all that stuff, but support local. And if you don't live in Florida, start going to a local spot. Or don't. I really don't care. I'm just kidding. Support Makebs. Anyways, here's what some of you guys from a previous video I did had to say about this. I like to get you involved to keep it fun, keep it light, keep it loose, keep it fresh. This person goes, it's all about stocks. Not only does the government get a viable salary, livable salary, but they have stock shares and are very wealthy. They haven't really cared about we, the people, since before the 70s. Did you hear that, guys? Everybody in the back? Classic. These two are going to tie together, though. This person goes, you need to start investing now. He goes, aside from 401k contributions, which is basically forcing us, we the people, to invest in the stock market, if you didn't know that, how can anyone save money but to put it in the market if they can't generate any savings at all because corporations that run the country bleed them dry with expenses such as rent, car, etc., etc. Also, Social Security is due to run out by 2032. I like that. That sounds fun. So if people think it's bad right now, what happens when it runs out? Our generation is paying into Social Security, and we won't even be able to use it. Okay, these two things tie together, though, because the 401k is basically forcing we, the people, not forcing, but putting it into a stock. And then Social Security is forcing us, right, the monopoly guy, okay, is forcing us, no matter what, to put it into their, kind of, I guess you call it a Ponzi scheme, although it's not really a Ponzi scheme. It seems to work kind of. But hey, anybody over the age of 65, tap on in and let us know how rich you are off Social Security and your 401k. Anyways, that's fun. These two people should link up and grab some coffee down at Makebs or their local family-run coffee shop because I think they'd get along and have a lot to talk about. Anyways, upward and onward.
Break it to you if you don't realize this by now, but the corporations in this country are poisoning us and they know it and they don't care.
99.
Okay, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole and get all wow conspiracy, but when he says poison, I think it another way. So this is about small businesses again, because this is what a lot of people are doing. We'll see some people at the end talk about this, some regular people like us. But this guy is kind of also, without even knowing what he's doing the same thing big conglomerates are doing. See if you notice what I'm talking about.
0.9% of businesses in the U.S. are small businesses. And about 8 out of 10 of those small businesses have no employees. And it's pretty obvious why that's the case. It's because labor costs are about 70% of a small business's annual spend. And here in the U.S., to get even a halfway decent employee, you're coughing up like 60, 70, 80 grand a year. And most of the time, these people aren't even that good and they're kind of entitled and, it's a pain in the butt. If you can't even afford to pay your own bills and you're just starting the business, it's not really something you're excited to pay for. I've started 2 businesses myself, and the way I was able to get enough leverage to really scale my business and become profitable within a pretty short amount of time was I learned how to work with virtual assistants overseas. You can hire people in the Philippines to work for you for full time for $500 a month. That's $6 grand a year, which is literally 1/10 of the cost of what it's going to cost you to hire someone here in the U.S.
Corporate America, corporate America.
Okay, so I put that in there because it's like, now we're no better than the big corporations if we do that. And I understand it's expensive to hire people here, but hey, let's keep it in the family. Keep it in America. We already ship out enough shit. Next thing you know, that guy's going to be making a video about, I just hired robots. I got little Maria the robot doing all my work, sucking my dick late at night. Next thing you know, your wife's out of the picture. Okay? I'm kind of making a joke, but you get my point. Anyways, it's just something to think about, all right? Because if we do what the big corporations are doing, then we're basically no better than them. Hate to point the finger at you, but I'm going to do it anyways. This guy goes, big corporations have a monster to feed. That's why they charge so much. They have so many gears to oil and palms to grease, okay, and people to pay. Small businesses that know what they are doing seriously outcompete them with cheaper prices. We just can't get all the business because we don't have the manpower to move faster. But if we did, we wouldn't be small business. Wink. And, he's right. And guess what? I think it's great that, at least there's a union for this big strike going on down with the longshoremen and the ports. Because that's kind of like, it's old school, man. Like, that's some old school shit. I mean, I know Hollywood had like the big writer's strike, but this is kind of more serious. You know what I mean? Like, we need to be creative. You know, this is kind of more like, no, dude, we're doing some serious work to give people food and supplies. And we've been getting paid the same for quite a while now. So I think it's fair, but hey, it's a step in the right direction. And not everybody's going to be able to start their own business. You know, like I have somebody I pay monthly to help me out, but it's not a livable wage. So they kind of contract out with me. And until I'm able to pay somebody a full wage, that's kind of how it works. But at least I'm keeping it here in the great USA. God bless America. His name was my name too. Anyways, upward and onward.
I left corporate America at 32.
Now, this is why people are kind of leaving corporate America, okay? You'll see the main reason.
While making over 200K. Let's talk about it. The money was not worth me selling my soul. The thing about the positions that I was in, head of growth marketing lead, vice president of marketing, head of US marketing, the expectation was that I sold my soul.
Okay, so she sold her soul. 200 grand a year, though? Probably making more than a lot of those longshoremen are. That's for sure. Down at the port, think about that. 200 grand a year for marketing. Big money. But, hey, I get it, though. For 200 grand a year, you're kind of going to do whatever they say, right? Hey, all the power to her. I hope she starts her own business with her marketing stuff. What about those of us who are married with children? Oh, this is kind of like if you don't want to work 80 hours a week. This is going to make sense. What about those of us who are married with children? I can't just move my family into a tiny house or a van. I also can't work 80 hours a week, or what would be the point of having a wife and kids if I never see them? Well, you could get like a Maria the robot to do that for you. I'm just kidding. I have a master's degree, and I can't find a job that makes more than $63K a year annually. And another reason, oh, this guy went dark. I'm not even going to read that. That's fucked up. But, I mean, just think about that for a second. You know, like, he's got a point. And I guess we're all just going to go on strike and nobody's going to work. Could you imagine that? Everybody just said no. That'd be scary shit. But that's kind of another option that people are doing, too. Like, people without kids and stuff. They're just saying, stuff it. I'll live in a van. I think some of those vans are dope, okay? But, you know, hey, if you want a family, can't do that. But here's another reason why people are leaving their corporate jobs. See if you notice the common theme.
The reason I quit my corporate job, honestly, was because I woke up one day and I was like, yo, why am I suffering every single day for some stupid ass company that doesn't give a shit about me?
The corporate job sucks so much out of you. It takes your life in so many ways. To the extent you can, we should flip the switch and take as much out of corporate jobs as we can.
If they're going to exploit us, we're going to exploit you right back.
Absolutely. It's a network for what it's worth. It has people and connections that you can make through it. Take advantage in every way. I sucked out everything that I could have. I'm fortunate enough to have got YouTube to the point where I now can so confidently leave the corporate job and be more than fine.
It's the same thing, and I get it. I worked corporate for like a short period of time. I couldn't do it, man. I just couldn't. I would rather be out on the port with those boys, or, you know, doing a blue collar job. I know we need, like, all this has to go in harmony or whatever, but I do get it. And I think it's great that more people are starting small businesses. But before I jump into this comment here, this is actually a really good point this guy makes. Think about what that chick said, that she left her corporate job and now YouTube's giving her enough. But really, when you do YouTube, you're just working for Google. I'm working for Google. All hail Google. Thank you for the money. But, like, building the business outside of it, fuck, dude. It's difficult. Like, if I wasn't getting the Google paycheck, I would have made $4,000 last month, which is still great money. But just to be a little transparent with you, because that's the outside actual small business money. But YouTube is still the engine for it, which is the corporate conglomerate. Everybody wins, right? This guy's talking about milking the system, all right? We're going to end on a high note here. Oh, this is going to be fun. This guy goes, I milk the system. I also make $75K a year. I pay $20K in taxes. I own a home. I pay property tax on that. I have 2 vehicles. I pay tax for those. I have 3 kids. I pay tax for those. I have to pay to have sex with my wife. No, he doesn't actually say that. Because why on earth would I want the corrupt government to have my money when I could literally steal from the corrupt government? Good point. That's like something everyone should aspire to do. Pay as little in taxes as you can. Get as much money from the government as you can. It's what corporations do. It's got an excellent point. It's what wealthy people do. It's what politicians do. It's basically what everybody does, except for, I guess, us. He goes, but we are made to feel like criminals when it's what we do or want to do. We need to change this. Make fraud great again. The fraud father. Nomad Tory vexing. No mandatory, whatever this guy's ad name is. He's got a good point.
Sorry.
We're going to end on this. Stu, this was super funny skit about taxes, the biggest corporation of them all, the government. But this was a hilarious skit. Just kind of end on a good note here. Just kind of make your day a little bit better.
Gotta pay your taxes.
Taxes? How much?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, I owe nothing?
No, you do.
Okay, how much?
I don't know.
Habibi, who knows?
Ideally you, sir.
How am I supposed to know?
Well, you gotta do your calculations.
How?
We have tools for that.
Yeah, why don't you use them then?
They're for you to use.
Why me?
It's your taxes.
It gets much better. Just hold on.
Yeah, but you want some.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Habibi, what if I don't pay?
Well, we take your stuff.
Take my stuff, I'll buy more.
You also go to prison.
I don't want to go to prison.
Then do the calculations and pay.
Oh, Allah, what if I make mistake?
That's tax fraud.
But it's mistake.
That you made.
How will I even know I make mistake?
We'll let you know, don't worry.
So you do know how much I owe?
No.
Then how will you know I make mistake?
We have tools for that.
Then just use the tools, ya Ahmar.
They're different tools.
Also, I'm not getting paycheck now. I'm living on saving.
Oh, you're getting paid cash.
What?
We know.
How do you know that?
We got tools for that.
The kicker. That was rich. Anyways, you guys leave your thoughts. I know that you will. But in conclusion, I just think we all have to be our own little corporations. And that's really kind of the only way around it. Is we all have to have an LLC or an S-Corp. And we have to basically write everything off. And we have to kind of play ball. Even if you have to have an actual job, I think that's kind of the only way around it. And, also, I'm going to end on this note. You could be mad at corporate America all you want, but if you keep supporting all you do is buy from corporate America, like you go to Walmart, then you go to Amazon, then you go to Starbucks, that's kind of on you. You're part of the problem. So start supporting local. And I still use Amazon. What's up, Jeff? But, I also use other conglomerates, too, like small websites and small shoe companies like Ours Is Yours. And, you got to support the little guy, too. So it's up to us, all right? And if you start a small business, you'd want people to shop at your store, yeah? God, solid talk. That was a lot of fun. I had a good time.